gets.
I know. I had them all on. Now I'm hot, so then I'll put them on.
Does get quite chilly.
Water it.
England versus Scotland over 60 women's final.
You haven't started, right?
No, we haven't started yet. These are the teams.
Yes. Okay.
So we can either have a look at the teams in. Do you prefer to look at the teams on this way, or you can have a look at them in this one as well?
Whatever way you like. So you like to look at them on right there.
Okay, here we go. Welcome back to Hartleyvale B. It's the finals day here in Cape Town. It's the World Masters Hockey Cup, and it's the over 60s women between England and Scotland. I've got Bob from the United States of America. Welcome, Bob. You back in the studio with us for the day?
Yes. Looking forward to it. Some exciting matches today as everybody battles it out for the gold medal. So we'll see who gets it today.
You've joined us with a medal around your neck as well today, Bob. You've collected yours already. What was that experience like?
Oh, gosh, it was a lot of fun. I mean, we're in the 65s, and there weren't that many teams participating, but we are very happy with our third place bronze medal. England just beat Scotland, a team that defeated us yesterday, and that was a great match and hard fought.
We saw you down there yesterday at the Western Bromwich Cricket Club, and it was a really close contested affair, and just unfortunate not to be playing in the showpiece today. But I'm sure you will be taking that play in very much heavier now with that bronze medal around your neck.
Yeah, my neck's already a little tired.
Might be paying a little extra baggage there at the airport. But we are here for the English and the Scots. These ladies have been fantastic throughout the tournament. It's the Scots in their traditional white and royal blue, while the English in their red and navy. We saw the English, they started out really well. They played South Africa. They won 7-0 in their opening game. They beat the Spirit of Masters 12-2 before defeating the USA 7-0, the Netherlands 4-0, and then yesterday Argentina 1-0.
Yeah, no, it's going to be an interesting match today because in their respective pools, England lost no matches and Scotland tied one. They had a 3-1 record. And when you look at the goal differential, England had 31 goals to Scotland 16, so they looked like a scoring machine out there. And they did it both with field goals and penalty corners. So it'll be interesting to see what they can put up today.
100% as England look for their first circle entry through Sue Craig. And she does play it back, and that could be the opening goal for England, which it is. Pippa Bull in the corner for England as the England Masters, they are leading by 1-0. Early exchanges here over Scotland.
Yeah, and the interesting thing here is that England has a number of people who've scored. They have 7 different players who've been scoring for them. And Pippa is not even the high scorer. She's got 5 goals, and the highest scorer is Helen Royan. So they've got a lot of potential to put goals in the cage today from different players.
Bob, that just shows the teamwork that anybody of this English side can hurt you on any given day. They don't rely on one particular player. It's goals aplenty from anybody in a red shirt, basically.
No, you aren't kidding. And it also looks like England's very capable of scoring both on their penalty corners. I'm sure they have fine-tuned their corners and also their field goals, which we just saw. That first one is a field goal, not a corner.
I do think England are quite battle-hardened. They had a fantastic semi-final against Argentina, who picked up the bronze medal earlier today. A really, really competitive Argentine side, and England just managing to win 1-0. So that would have really just given them the determination and the hope that they can go all the way. But really impressive was the Scots in their semi-final, trouncing the Netherlands 3-0.
Wow, that is impressive because the top teams here on the women's side have emerged as England, Scotland, Netherlands, and Argentina, of course, is a powerhouse on the world stage. So it's been quite, but England has, I think, is in just about all the finals, if not all of them. So this is the team to beat, in my view.
I think that's a reflection of their masters program back home. They really take it seriously, and when they come to these events, they wanting to showcase their talents and really just show what can be achieved if you put a bit of effort into your masters program.
Yeah, I think so. And they are well trained. They're fit. They're fast. They work together as a team. They have formal coaching, and they meet regularly to practice. You know, starting months ahead of the tournament.
The way England have gone about it is they've set the bar. They really have set the bar here in Cape Town for the past 10 days, and I've been really impressed the way just the fitness levels, the speed of the over 60s games has been that's been really impressive for me.
Yeah, no, it has, you know, because you can really, after a certain age, you can see a bit of a slowdown, but you don't see it in the 60s. They are out there racing around and carrying the ball, like right now. Number 3 coming down on the side on the end line, gets it in, and another goal, and a beautiful reverse stick flick high in the right corner.
That is a fantastic goal. It was Pippa Bull, the goal scorer. She was the one that created the creator on this occasion, providing the assist for captain Sue Mary. And you can see just how delighted she is Sue Mary, the skipper leading from the front here for England. And England have stormed into a 2-goal lead within the first 5 minutes of this final.
Yeah, extraordinary. You know, as we saw Sid coming in here, they really can score from many different players, many different ways. So we'll see if they can keep this pace up.
And England, it's now the Scots who are looking to launch an attack. They've been shell-shocked here early in this final. They weren't expecting to be 2 goals down this early in the piece. But I'm sure the flower of Scotland will bloom once more, and they'll produce all the courage and determination that they are well known for to come back in this final.
No, that is for sure. And I'm sure these teams back in Great Britain play each other not infrequently. And, you know, and I know some of the players are a little sad they're not playing teams outside Great Britain because they do see them at home. But no doubt helps in their knowledge of how the other team plays and what their typical pattern is. So be interesting to see who takes most advantage of that.
We do know there's not much love lost between these two nations, very close to the border. So a derby we have here for this final. We saw in the over 65s, England winning that competition as well, putting one over Scotland. So England looking to make it double here early on Sunday morning.
Yeah, no, the 65s was interesting. I thought that was a 2-0 game, England. And again, looking at the goal differential and the fact that England coming to that 65s had 2 days of rest, while the U.S. team, which I was on yesterday, we played Scotland yesterday. So we thought Scotland's legs are probably a bit tired. But after initially being dominated by England, they came to life and managed to hold them off. So it was just a 2-0 game.
Bob, your tournament's over. You can let it all out now. What do you think of the umpiring? Now you can give us your honest answer. You can let it all out now.
Well, I think it's, you know, like doctors. There's, you know, all levels and some very good ones and some that are, you know, just sort of good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when umpires are being compared to doctors, that's when I start worrying you up in the commentary box. It's the Starsky and Hutch show here for you in the final for the Cape Town World Masters Hockey World Cup, as the English leading by 2 goals already, and they exerting their dominance on the Scots. And no doubt the Scots will look to build all the way from the back here and just create something to get them back in the game.
Yeah, well, the Scots just tried a big hit to try to penetrate down on attack. Were unsuccessful because they really have yet to get on attack.
The English just haven't allowed them. They've been pressing really high. They've closed down the spaces and not given the Scots much time to breathe.
No, they haven't, and you can see it right here.
That's good hustling, though, from Scotland in the midfield by number 52. The captain, Ali Ramsey, she realizes that she needs to step it up for her team. and lead from the front. It's a real midfield tussle here, Bob. Just closing down the spaces, not allowing...
No, they aren't. And England just did a big switch up, bit of a trip there. Still England's ball. But England is looking for the big cross pace to really transfer the ball and open up the field. So far, Scotland has not been able to do that. Too well marked by the English defense.
It's a good slap into space. There could be opportunity for England. It's 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper.
Oh.
And it's off the post and inside for England. Sue Craig. That is another goal. And England storming into a 3-0 lead here over the Scots.
Yeah, and I think the Scots there, I mean, we were just talking about the big pass trying to transfer, and that's what England did. It hit it down for a through. That player immediately crossed it, and there was no defense back. It was a one-on-one situation, and the English player easily beat her, pulled the goalie who went down and had a nice open shot, and there it was.
Bob, we know that England would have come into this game as favourites in this final, but this is possibly the worst way Scotland would have wanted to start. And what's going through those minds of the Scottish players right now? How do we get back after suffering a 3-0 deficit this early on?
Yeah, well, I think this is a question. I think the Scots, they're pretty experienced. They've played Masters a lot, and I think they're just keeping their heads down, trying to keep calm and go for it. And of course, they just had their moment in the circle, almost scored. So I think they'll keep calm. They're not ready to panic yet, although it looks pretty grim at the moment.
I think that circle entry would have given them a bit of confidence,
Yes.
getting the keeper to make a save, and had it gone in, and we could have been 3-1, and just a little bit of confidence boost that they do need. I take nothing away from this England side. They've come out storming. They've asserted the dominance from the tip-off already.
And here they go, another big pass for the cutter, and the through ball picks it up. It's again a one-on-one going the circle, but Scottish defender picked it up nicely. She's looking for a player to pass. Loses control, England gets it back.
England taking it quickly through Ali Hancock. Scotland maybe just wanting to take a breather, just compose themselves here. Just as Bob was saying, we're not out of it yet. Still a long way to go, lots of time left. We're only in the first chukka.
And this is where fitness will also count as the game wears on. Unless England puts up an insurmountable lead, which would be 5-6-0 early on. But we will see as the game wears on who's fit, who tires, where the opportunities come from, because that's often where you get the big break.
We saw that very much in the third and fourth place playoff, where there was no goals, but just as the game wore on, Argentina just taking more and more control of the game as the Netherlands faded away, and fairly fortunate to hang on for the shootout, and unfortunately for the Netherlands not going their way. But definitely we saw with Argentina just their fitness levels and increasing, particularly in this age group, proving a major factor.
It really shows. And that's where it's always interesting to see who's had the rest days and not, because even if you're fit, the recovery time is a bit longer when you're older.
I think, Bob, though, it's really impressive when you can go 10 days of hockey and still be running on the Monday morning as England push once more for the circle entry through. Bull, she's battling away. She will get the free hit, though. Taken quickly by England. Move towards played back to O'Connell. Blythe picks it up. Out to Rogers.
Yeah, but this is where England moves very nicely and gives plenty of opportunity for the passers to find a receiver.
Strong defense by Scotland on this occasion, though, and once again it's the captain. Taken quickly by Alcock, and she looks to put it on a boot, but not on this occasion, and Scotland will just take a big breath and look to clear their lines. The pace of the game has been frenetic, Bob. It's just been up and down.
It has, and you can see, Scotland had the ball there, has lost it in a turnover to England, but England is pressing. and they're being very aggressive and trying to intercept the ball and cause turnovers, and so far that's working for them.
England looking for the circle entry, but it's picked up by Scots. Rogers on the ball for England. It's played into the D. England still on the ball there. And that is goal number 4 for England. Once again, the skipper, Sue Mary, she's really the talisman here. Do not let those white locks phase you, and because she is a bundle of energy and has got a double already in this final.
Yeah, you aren't kidding. That was very nice. Moving along the end line, continued the goalie, pushed it into the goalie. Goalie went down, but there was somebody waiting in front of the open cage, somehow got it out from under the goalie and pushed it right in.
Seems like we have a one-sided final here, Bob. It's 4-0 and just under 3 minutes remaining in this first chukka.
Yeah, it's not looking encouraging for the Scots, but, you know, anything can happen and change. But it's going to be very tough for them to catch up.
This England's team, just the way they attack a free hit, they just come up in numbers and provide support. That just shows a team that's well drilled, well coached, and spend many hours in the gym as well.
Yes, I mean, and they're all fast. Like number 2 running down now, she's carrying in toward the circle, tries to get in. Scotland does stop it.
I think the best thing for Scotland is for the hooter to go and just possibly regroup and get a few words from their coach.
Yeah, and you know, right now you've got Scotland. The entire team is below the 25, so they're trying to mark up. They're trying to stop this, you know, powerhouse offense. So we'll see what happens here, if they can find their mark and stop this. But England has some good ball carriers who just push through. They know how to get corners, but they haven't yet had to do that. It's been all field goals.
Have we had a short corner yet in the game?
No,
and
I don't think so.
And it's 4-0. What a performance by the English. Scotland are going to have to find a way to just have those passes connect, because when England turn over possession, it's one-way traffic as they push towards that circle entry.
Yeah, and we'll see, you know, what the Scottish coach is thinking right now, too. There could be some substitutions, and maybe they'll change their lineup a bit. You know, hard to say what, you know, what tactical change he might make, he or she. And the head coach is Stuart Lobb.
It's England on the sideline, and I'll play it back to Blythe, June Blythe, who, and that's a wonderful transfer by England, just the speed where they move the ball.
Yes, yes, and they are one-timing it, they're not dallying, they know where their receivers are, so it's that confidence that comes from knowing where your teammates are to quickly act and pass.
Down to the final 20 seconds here in the first chukka. It's been all England thus far. 4 field goals to their advantage. And Scotland just thinking about how they are going to get back.
Yeah,
in this
and I
contest.
think right now they've got to be thinking pure defense. And this is what happens too. What's very hard to change momentum is the entire team drops back. You say we can't allow any more goals. It's defense first, and that can be very hard to transition up to attack.
That is the hooter. We will see you back in a bit. It's all England here at Hartley Vale B, leading by 4-0.
At thehockeyside.com, it's about what happens in the locker room, thinking about the game. It's about planning and preparation, and about training and improving those skills, looking at it from different angles. But of course, it's also about teaching them to score and win. Thehockeyside.com. Share the knowledge.
Welcome back to the World Masters Hockey World Cup for 2022. It's the over-60s final between England and Scotland, and it's the English who've been the dominant force here at Hartley Vale. They're leading by 4-0. Bob, if you were the coach of Scotland, what were the words you'd use?
I would say
Right.
we have got to drop back sooner. We've got to watch for that big through pass and that transition, because that's what they're doing. They're not just switching fields and standing and watching. They know instantly what they're doing. They're just penetrating as hard and fast as they can. And we've got to have players drop back or marking tighter. So it's going to start with defense. So in attack, they just have to get it up. They've, one, have to stop the goals, and two, be ready to transition quickly themselves.
That's the wise words of Bob, the over 65 American bronze medalist here in the commentary box. And definitely, if I was the England coach, I wouldn't be saying anything. I'd be just keep doing what you've been doing, because it's been working splendidly.
You got it. I don't think they need to change a thing right now.
The one thing possibly is just complacency. Don't take your foot off the pedal, because the Scottish side, they haven't reached the final by fluke. They've played good hockey, and they just need to find a bit of rhythm, and I'm sure they'll be back in the contest.
I think you're right. I think they'll find it. And, again, as the game goes on, and the English defense is playing very tight right now, but they'll start to tire a bit because they are intense. They're determined. Both teams are taking a very professional attitude toward this game and are playing hard and intently. So we'll see as time develops if they start making mistakes, and the Scots can take advantage.
Bob, we spoke about the experiences of the Masters that these two countries do have. They play each other quite often. They also very well coached. Is that the case for most countries around the world?
No, I wouldn't say it is. I think Australians who are not here, because apparently they had a big Masters tournament in their own country, but the Australians also take it very seriously. And for instance, you see in a lot of teams, you'll have people out of the age bracket, much older than the age bracket. Australia is very strict. Same with both these teams. Everybody is within the age bracket. Here nobody 72 years old, this kind of thing. And so, the Netherlands, there I had talked to a Dutch player. We were over at Robben Island. We're all doing a little bit of tourism while we're here, and asking about.
Glad to hear you're seeing the sights and sound of this beautiful place.
Oh yeah, and the Dutch started training back in February, and then moved it up in the summer to weekly, and then twice a week, and had practices just for corners. So they took it all very seriously as well.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear. And the South African teams, what have you made of the South African teams that you've seen on?
Well, the
on
South African teams, years ago were one of the top world powers, and then they were banned from world competition because of the apartheid issues here. But they have been very strong. They're making a big comeback. They've been, of course, back in the international scene for some time. But they've been strong. But they have not, come up in the top. So, and I know I'm not sure how robust the Masters program is here. There was supposed to be a South African 65 team, and then that was withdrawn due to a lack of players. So I think they're still building that up.
I think over time, yes, it will pick up, and particularly having this tournament here in Cape Town for the last 10 days, that will definitely ignite some interest and passion amongst the hockey-loving public. We saw down at UCT and Western Province Creek Club, and also at Hartley Vale, just the numbers that have come in over the last 10 days and how they've supported the hockey. So that will definitely be of interest to the South Africans who were thinking about possibly participating in the next one.
Yeah, I think so. And certainly you've seen lots of Masters players, men and women, all over the place, hiking here, hiking there, taking Ubers. So we've certainly made our presence felt, and I think it always gives a shot in the arm, I think, to the local hockey programs.
Saw down at Western Province Creek Club yesterday. It was a real party over there. It was lots of fun, and that's also what it's part about, just meeting friends and meeting people, and that's the beauty of Masters hockey.
Yes, it is. I mean, people come to play serious hockey, but it's also, to meet lots of other players from other countries. And one of the little-known things, there's always a very active trading of hockey uniforms and shirts on that last day. In fact, I've been approached. There was I
have seen that downstairs.
Yes.
I see just the ladies throwing their tops all over the place, basically.
Yes, exactly. T-shirts. You know,
Yeah.
we're approached. Somebody from Chile wanted to do it,
Yeah.
and you know, Masters England. Hey, who wants to switch? And
Is
you
there
know,
a particular shirt that you'd like, Bob, that you have your eye on?
well, I think the Chilean shirt was very nice because you look at the fabrics. You know,
Oh,
the
okay.
nice soft
All
cotton.
right, okay.
What am I going to wear outside of field
All
hockey?
right, so Bob is the designer, the look issue. It's not just the name; it's the quality of the uniform.
Yeah, the fashionistas of the field hockey
there-
world have to make sure it's the
There
good
we
quality.
go. There we go. Up on Insta tomorrow. Yeah, but that's the memorabilia that you take home as England look to force another, at least their first short corner. They haven't had a short corner yet. That's a good intercept there by Scotland, and it's a one-on-one if she can get away.
Let's see.
Lynn Hawkins on the ball.
Yeah, but you saw how quickly England got back. It looked like a one-on-one initially, and then it looked as one-on-4. The other two Scottish forwards were dashing back, but they were lagging the English defense.
That's just the fitness that that England do have, the superior fitness. They are able to get back and cover if they do actually make a mistake. England on the ball as it's wonderfully picked up by the captain Sue Mary again. She's got her name on the score sheet twice already as Sue Mary, and look at that skill. She just turns and creates the space, does Mary.
Yep, that's the captain. You can see why she is the captain. She just kept cool, kept poised, under pressure, got the pass back to her player.
Thinking if there's an MVP for the tournament, I think Sue Mary, she's putting a hand up for that.
Yeah, so far she's been pretty impressive and really got the attack going, and it gives them that comfort level and confidence. They can really go for it, maybe take a few more risks in terms of going for interceptions.
Spoke about the age groups earlier on. The Argentine over 60s team, they had a 70-year-old in their side, so that was really impressive.
Yeah, well, you know, we had in the 65s, you know, we have somebody, 70, which is getting up there. And right now there's no women's 70s.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so and to be 70 years old and playing in one below in the over 60s, that takes some doing. So.
Yeah, I think so. When you look at the ages in both these teams, they really are concentrated in the 60 to 62, with just a handful on each team in the 64. And even no 65s on the England team and 165 on the Scottish team, and that does make a difference. As you come in on the younger side of that age bracket, there is a bit of a difference sometimes. In fact, very often.
I do think it's awfully impressive that they've particularly this Masters tournament, considering after COVID you wouldn't have played for 2 years, and just to get back up, and you might have got into Netflix on the couch and suddenly picking up a hockey stick again.
That is true, and I know for the U.S., and I'm not sure what other Masters programs did, but when it was deferred from 2020 to 21, we kept the same teams, and it was okay with the Masters World Cup that if the people had slipped a little bit in the age categories, and then when it got to be 2 years, then we had to do tryouts all over again, because then it was it was too much. So the 2 years and people were in the wrong age group and so on, and I'm sure that everybody had to do tryouts again and get new teams together.
Yeah, but we are here in Cape Town, and we've enjoyed a fantastic week at the foot of Table Mountain as the Scots just finding a little bit more solidity here in the second half and in the second chuck and keeping England at bay, although England are launching yet another attack here down the middle. Plenty of runners up front, and she keeps on going though. A little bit bemused. She might have thought it was Ali Alcock thinking she won the free hit there.
She did that, yeah. And she was fast. You could see her outrunning the Scottish player the whole way down, fast and fit. Ran all the way from just at the 50 into the circle. That's tough to counter.
Once again, the long ball picked up by Captain Sue Mary. And she finds an outlet towards the left.
Yeah, and it's interesting, the Scottish defense is not marking tightly. They are playing more the space and allowing their English player to receive the ball, which is dangerous, as we just saw with another score.
That is the 5th goal for England. Once again, the captain, Sue Mary, she was involved. And the goalkeeper, the Scotland goalkeeper, Sue Cleaver, had initially made the save. but the English weren't going to be denied, and that is a 5th one. And the goal scorer for England is number 2, Ali Alcock.
Yeah, I think it's interesting the tactics for the Scots letting the ball be hit up, and I think that's a very dangerous move because it gives the English real momentum, which we just saw. So I'm not sure what what if they're going to change that and really step up. They may be just afraid that they're going to get beat because the English players are so quick and so strong.
I do think, though, the movement of the English midfielders, their halves and their forwards, that's causing the trouble for the Scottish, because the transfer of the balls, it's at pace, and it's forcing Scotland just to sit off and off the defender, or at least off the attacker, in the hope that they'll run at them.
Yeah, but on that breakaway, it's very tough because the rest of the defense isn't back. That defender who's left there is looking at other forwards coming in. Who does she pick up? Who does she take? And it's pretty easy to pick them apart. And England seems to be pretty expert at that. England just had a sub come in. It was Sue Craik, and she's also one of their high scorers. She's had 5 goals so far of their overall 31.
I don't think any of us would have expected a 5-0 lead for England just halfway through the second chukka. Thought it might be a lot more closely contested, but it's the England team who are very much in the driving seat here. Scotland going to have to dig really deep here to not avoid a real onslaught from these English ladies, and it'll take a lot of pride to keep the score.
Yeah.
Hopefully staying under double figures here.
Yes, I know. That's what you're thinking. My gosh, this could be double figures, which is pretty unheard of in hockey, particularly in a final match. But, Zahir, I have seen this English 60s team play at different tournaments pre-COVID, and they were superb. And I talked to their coach at the time, and the coach they had set plays. They knew where each other was going, and it seems they've just kept up that strength of this 60s team.
Also a sign of a really good team is when the big games do come about. That's when everything comes together. There might have been parts of their game that were still being worked out during the preliminary stages, and when the final comes about, that's when they all bring it all together and put in their best performances.
Yeah, Zahir, that's really a good point, because when you start out this tournament, they're made, even though they've been well practiced, you haven't played intense competition like this, and you start to gel, and you really know where each other is by this point. And that is so important, because then you don't have to look up, you just know where your play is going to be.
That's we've seen so many first-time passes from England as they work their way into this circle there, and good 3D skills there by Alcock, who seems to be quite a talisman there on the left for England.
You're not kidding. And here's another corner that's been called.
First short corner. It's the first short corner of the day.
So let's see what the English, have up their sleeve on this.
It's not often that you see 5 goals being scored without a short corner even being awarded yet.
I know. And let's see who's taking the corner hit, because they have 4 players who've scored on penalty corners. And it's been Pippa Bull who's had the most on penalty corners. So let's see if that's her taking a shot.
Shot comes in, and it's saved brilliantly off the line, and it seems like it was Mary who took the shot. So many red shirts up in the Scotland 23, flooding the goal area.
They are, and yet the English are well positioned should the Scots break through, with 1 player deep below the 50 and 2 between the 25 and 50, ready to move up on attack, as one just has. Get it down.
And it's Alcock who's not able to pick it up cleanly there. But once again, England, just so many options on attack. The halves are just entering the fray on the sides as well, just creating so many more options for the links. And that looks to be picked up by Mary, and just beats her. But the pace that Mary has is unbelievable, just to put the Scots under pressure.
And she almost had it. And that's always exciting for a forward when you are able to intercept that ball right in the circle. There's nobody there, and it's just you and the goalkeeper. It's also one of the biggest pressure times because you don't want to miss that one.
England making a couple of substitutes here. Libby Mount coming onto the field, and along with the opening goal scorer who set it all up for England is Pippa Bull. She's back on the field as well. I think that could be the first opportunity where England don't actually pick up a pass, and but they won't mind. It'll go deep into the Scottish half again, with the Scots also making a few substitutes. Number 51, Mandy New, she comes into the field, and hopefully with a few new prospects for Scotland. The England press really strong.
They are, look at that. 5 of them, very tough. The Scottish player lifts it up, hopeful to get it over all of them. Doesn't quite work. Goes right back to England.
Once again, June Blythe. That could be the first mistake England have made all day, as it goes out over the touchline, and Scotland rampaging forward in the hope, with 1 minute remaining, can they get at least one before the half-time whistle? Lee McNabb on the ball for Scotland. She drives towards the byline, followed by Blythe. And that's a good tackle by Blythe. McNabb will have another opportunity, but she just plays it tamely over the byline, and England will restart with the hooter for the second half fast approaching.
I can see. That was not our hand.
Not quite the hooter just yet. That's just the spectators and their bit of entertainment. But that will be the hooter, and it's half-time. England 5, Scotland 0. We'll see you back after the half-time break. So I was reading your like your mission. And okay. Welcome back to the Hartleyvale Bees field for the World Masters Hockey World Cup clash. It's the final, in fact, between the English and Scotland. And it's England who are leading by 5-0. Yeah, as the second half is underway. Bob, it's an uphill battle for the Scots now, isn't it?
It is, it is. And, you know, the English set the tone very early. They had 2 goals in the first few minutes, and they were beautiful goals, field goals. And that's down, you're down 5-0 unless there's a radical change, and I'm not sure what they can do. They might be able to put a goal or 2 in and try to hold the English scoreless in the second half. But I think from what we've seen, it's going to be tough. And we'll see if the Scots are now stepping up and marking more tightly and trying to stop that through pass and the big breakaway for the English, so they can at least stop the hemorrhaging of goals against them.
Scotland looking to put a few passes together in the midfield. That just shows the confidence of England. They know there's a player behind them who will pick it up, and that comes from just playing together for years and years and being able to trust your teammate.
Yep, you are right, because that was 2 players that didn't even look up. They let it go right by, knowing the third player was there ready to receive it. You know, speaking, you know, as a part of the USA team, it's really a pleasure to watch, because we do practices, but it's whoever can show up, because our players are so widely dispersed, sometimes by thousands of miles, that we don't actually get to play together until our first game. And, you know, and I know, you know, for our team and a lot of the teams, a big difference between that first and last game in terms of how they play. But, you know, most of the time it's just too late. I mean, to compete against teams like this who start out right from the start just so professional and disciplined and fit, it's been a pleasure to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it must be fairly difficult at Masters level. I think if it's international, pure international hockey, it's state funded, and it's you know, the teams they don't have to pick up the ball to get together, and whereas at this level it's virtually coming out of your own pocket. So to meet up for a training session halfway around the country every other day, that could prove a little bit costly.
No, it doesn't happen. I think we had maybe 6 training practices scheduled from May up until this tournament, and at different times maybe you had half the teams being able to show up, and then we did a lot of drills. You know, you really couldn't scrimmage or didn't play. So
plenty of Zoom meetings along the way just to keep everybody informed.
that's a good question. No, we didn't do Zoom meetings, you know, so it was really just to try to get them and get the skills, and we'd had different coaching. So, because even a lot of the older players, you know, are not up, because we have such a variety. You know, some players haven't played in years, believe it or not, because you have to have the numbers.
Yeah.
And other players never stop playing, so you have a real difference. You have to even go over some of the recently changed rules for some players. You know, so you have a lot to integrate into one team, and all different playing levels and experience and knowledge. So, you know, but I'll tell you, the satisfying thing is, I know, speaking for our team, we really improved, came together, and we just you have to use the word bittersweet. We got our medal, but we couldn't quite get to the top, and but we are very happy anyway, just to see the progress and the bonding. It was very satisfying.
And Bob, how often would you play back home?
Well, I'll tell you, these days, I mean, in the U.S., field hockey season is basically just the fall sport. And New York, where I live, there's also a spring season. But, it's tough for masters because I'm now in the age to keep up with the kids in their 20s. You can't compete. They just whip by you. You go, hey, I thought I had that ball.
Yeah.
And so, and they want to play, with people their own caliber. So it's very tough to get the playing opportunities. You play pickup. Yeah, there's enough pickup opportunities so you get to run around, but that's mixed.
Okay.
But no, we envy the Dutch, we envy the English. Oh gosh, they get to play so often a sport that we all love, and that's why we're all playing. We just love the sport.
There's another chance for England as they approach the circle, and fortunately for the Scots, it just evades the upright. But it's still the England side who are very much in control here at Hartley Vale B. Would be interesting to know whether how often these teams do actually play in terms of the rivalry between Scotland and England, because we saw in the previous over 65 game it was got quite heated on a few occasions.
It was. Well, I know a lot of them will participate in the European Cup.
Yeah.
And there's so many tournaments all over in Europe, whether, there's in Italy, in Wales and Scotland, there's a lot of opportunity. And so that even with these players aren't necessarily playing with their national team, they will be playing masters with their own local team. So they keep active, they keep fit. And a lot of them are trained the same way. So they're doing a lot of the same strategy tactics on the field.
We're also looking forward to some over 55s men's games after this. The Netherlands, they will be looking to pick up a couple of medals there. They've been one of the star attractions during the week, bringing in the numbers into the stadiums with the Dutch so composed and in the way they go about their business. And it will be an interesting full day of hockey remaining here at the World Masters Hockey Cup.
Yeah, I think that game is going to be a very well-balanced and much more competitive game than so far this one is. But again, things can change. It's the nature of the beast, so we'll see what happens here.
England just making a couple of substitutes as well. Bob, we heard you had a little bit of a visit to the Robben Island over the weekend. Is it?
Yeah, we did. And then a lot of our teammates had already been there and are very moved. Found it a very emotionally intense experience. And particularly because there's one tour guide there that shows you the interior of the prison and where they slept, and he was a former prisoner. So it has a particularly a vivid impression to see what they ate, that they had no windows, they had, no winter clothes, and they had to wear shorts and short sleeve shirts unless they were white. Then they got a jacket, but it was really intensely moving.
And provided a bit of insight into the way the mechanisms South Africa.
It sure does. I think you can't be here, and even if you knew nothing about South African politics and its history, it's evident everywhere. And particularly when you're going into Robben Island, they have a wonderful exhibit where you get to see the history, and of course, right near there's 4 statues of some of the 4 great pioneers who fought for civil rights and freedom here. And so I think a lot of players I've talked to really want to even do more reading when they get home and learn much more about it, because in America we've had our own issues that they're still alive from the days of slavery. Things have improved a lot, but I think anybody who's followed our politics knows we've had a difficult time, especially this last few years.
That's wonderful to hear that that these opportunities are opened, and that's what this tournament's also about. It's about foreign nationals coming to South Africa and just taking a little bit of it back home with them, and realizing that down here at the tip of Africa, what's happened, and
No, exactly. And you've made such progress. Obviously, these things are generational changes, and it can take a while to change attitudes. But I can see there's already huge progress here, and you see it again in just walking down the streets. But obviously, huge challenges remain.
I think one of the big disparities in South Africa is the difference between the first world and the third world. It's arguably the biggest difference in the entire world, where different races are, what applies to them. And you go from Robben Island and you go directly to the V&A waterfront. You get off there on the boat, and suddenly it's it's a first world experience again. And these are the challenges that we face. But down in Cape Town, I think it does. People are trying, and they're working really hard at it, and to offer that first world experience to people who do come down.
Yeah, no, but it's a big challenge because just the sheer numbers that are in poverty and to lift them out and the education needed and the jobs, I mean, we have those pockets. It tends for us to be in the urban cities where you see pockets where that is the hardest to break those cycles, but we have, as you do here, but we have huge government efforts and a lot of non-profit, billions of dollars trying to change things.
Just on your impressions of the V&A waterfront, though,
It's
beautiful.
spectacular.
Yeah,
A spectacular
beautiful.
development, how they've integrated with the industrial base that was there and still is, and attracted such fantastic restaurants, and it's beautiful to walk around. Oh, it's really a delight. I've been enjoying that. And also you have that big crafts area where you really get a nice mixture of, see some, African-inspired and genuine African arts and pottery and all that. So it's quite nice.
Does seem like you've got around while you've been here, Bob.
Of course, we had to do the wine country,
of
to see
course.
for ourselves firsthand what everybody's talking about.
Have you sampled a few bottles? Are you taking a few?
Just a few.
And
And I'm bringing a few back, I have to say. I carefully, I put two, one in each shin guard, just this morning.
Customs.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh. So, no. And that's been fabulous.
No, we did say the baggage will be a little bit heavier when
It's
once
heavier.
you pass tonight.
Yeah. And I think, hopefully, because I know the Cape Town, government has been very supportive and gave a lot of support to the organizers in terms of the venues and opportunities. And I hope we have, with our spending, supported the local economy so they, the government finds it has been well worthwhile from that point of view.
Yes, the City of Cape Town, an official sponsor of this World Masters Hockey Cup, very much welcoming the 18 to the $1 US dollar that has been spent while in Cape Town.
Well, and you can see it in the opening ceremonies were wonderful. All the teams marching through and very happy and proud to be waving their flags as we march through the V&A waterfront. And of course tonight, a big closing ceremonies that's going to be right on the water with apparently a band that's quite well known locally. I don't recall the name, but very popular. And so on the last night when nobody has a game tomorrow, I know when I have a game, it's like, okay, 2 sips of wine, that's it. I think people are going to let loose.
So, Bob, will you be having your dancing shoes out this evening? The heels just not in the suitcase just yet?
Well, as I said, I have only more games to play, so we'll leave it at that.
All right, fantastic. The definitely not been packed in the suitcase as yet. The hockey stick's been packed away, but the high heels are definitely still still outside.
Oh gosh.
Nah, yeah.
It'll be fun. Everybody's so looking forward to that.
It should definitely be a great event as the English are just maintaining control here over the Scots but they continue to battle away, do the Scots, and just running hard and trying to find that one little opening that could open the door for the Scots.
Yeah, and see, there was a nice pass back to the Scots, but that English player came from behind right on her, putting her under pressure, trying to get it through. Loft of the ball. Umpires calling against them. This is when you really start rooting for the underdog, hoping they can really put a nice string together and penetrate down there. but looks pretty tough to do with this English team. Their defense is tough. Their midfield's there. They are able to find the outlet pass pretty quickly, and then they transfer to attack, and they're in there.
Bob, I felt I needed to share this story with you. Yesterday there was plenty of cricket being played alongside the World Masters down at Western Province Cricket Club, and my cricket mates came around, and they were quite impressed by the hockey that was on display, and they were suddenly asking themselves questions about their fitness levels and that they suddenly needed to hit the gym, and because they were being put to shame by these wonderful athletes that we've seen over the last week.
Oh, well, it's interesting because you do, particularly when you look at the younger age groups, my God, the speed and the power, particularly the men, when they hit that ball, oh my goodness, it's powerful. So I'm glad we've inspired the cricketers, especially because they were in the place they were taking up where we usually like to warm up. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
We've been using their field for our pregame warm up.
Okay, definitely. But yeah, it's been a really good 10 days spent in Cape Town, and sure, plenty of memories that and friendships that have been created over the period.
Yeah, they absolutely have, and tons of photos. I don't know how we're ever going to all share them and go through them, but.
Is the cloud big enough?
Exactly,
Yeah.
and being on, the mountain up there, and everybody just having tabletop. Everybody's gone up, of course. And there's a couple of my teammates, friends who are hiking today. Have to get up there.
Yeah, it should be lovely up there. It's just down at Hartley Vale where the wind is created, and it's quite a blustery time of things.
Well,
but
it's actually interesting on the wind. It is a factor on the play. If you've got the wind behind you, and as you're going on attack, it actually is helpful. You think it would make a difference, but it does. Particularly in the older crowd, you can use any help you can get.
Seen plenty of collisions here over this period, and lots of work for the masseuse to do, just to keep it all intact, because
England's putting another sub. Sue O'Connell coming in. So we'll see if they do a bit more subbing. We're not sure what their subbing philosophy is, if it's all only the strongest players who get the most time, or they try to do equal subbing, but you would think here is an opportunity for them to try different things. They have a little bit of a, security blank with that 5-0 lead. So we'll see if they try to do something a bit different, try things maybe they had been working on but weren't quite confident yet to use in a full game.
Winding down the clock in the third, chukka here. It's England still very much in control. Just on 30 seconds remaining. I think the Scots, they can be proud of themselves. At one stage, it really looked like England were going to open up the taps, but they've managed to keep it all under control.
Yeah, they've kept them scoreless in this second half.
And that is something to be proud of, because we were predicting double digits at one stage.
Well, yeah, if that momentum kept going, it was a little disconcerting.
As we said, that is the Uta, and we'll see you back in a short while.
thought I had left it
No,
on
no,
during the break.
no,
Yes, I did.
yeah.
I was on the U.S. team lacrosse too.
Oh, yes, I saw that. There we go. It's welcome back to the final chukka, Bob. We very much where England are still in control, and as they look to take a step closer to lifting that gold medal here at Hartleyvale.
Yeah, and England's taking their time. They're not forcing the ball, finding each other, just waiting. Scotland's not pressing up high. A little bit of slip there, turnover. Scotland picks it up, pushing their feet, gets the foul. So we'll see if Scotland can get the momentum going here in attack. Scotland loses the ball. England's now in the corner, trying to get it out. Nice, patient waiting and stick work, passing. The English getting it out. Intercepted though. Scott is trying to get in.
Would be great if Scotland could find a way into the goal area. They do play it. Yeah, they do have a circle entry, and they just so close. And that's arguably the closest Scotland have come all day.
Yeah, disappointing. She'd just gotten her stick on that. My gosh, but that's one of the toughest shots coming off your stick side, off your non-stick side. You're dashing in, off balance. But that was Lil McNabb, and she's one of their top scorers.
That's a good bunt downfield, but the Scotland just look a lot more organised after the halftime break. Coming out in the second half, they've managed to close down the spaces and not giving England all the freedom that which they roamed with during that opening.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and they're doing a much better job there. So I think they've gotten their defensive act together, and now it's just they've got to try to figure out. They're trying to penetrate, and they're having some success here, but see what they can do.
I think I'd like to see the England coach just utilising all his substitutes, getting everybody on the park, just getting a feel of what it is to play in a final, and memories that will be cherished forever. The winning the World Cup in Cape Town. I think definitely something to go home to tell the kids, some even grandkids at home.
I think a lot of these players will have grandkids.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
You know, going back home and. Mark's coming home and saying, I've won the World Cup in Cape Town.
It's true. And a number of these players have played in other World Cups. I know this is my fourth one, and they're all very different in feel. It's been the Netherlands, Australia, Barcelona. And this has been, I think, one of the most fun. And there's just a special atmosphere here. And frankly, I think it's so many of the South Africans we've met off the pitch have been so friendly and fun. You know, they just are. They laugh easily, you know.
That's lovely.
Down to the Uber drivers, you know, waiters. It's just been lovely. So I think I know my team is coming away with a wonderful, wonderful impression and experience here in Cape Town.
And they're always 10 days long?
Yeah, that's the usual time because you've got, and this is actually, this is the first year where you're starting to break up all the different Masters divisions because there is down to 35, and the men go up to, believe it or not, 80. And I've seen them play, and it is wonderful because they may not be so quick these days in their footwork, but the sticks are amazing, and they're out there because they love it.
So I've still got 40 years to get fit for that tournament?
Indeed it does.
40 years to get fit for that tournament.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you know, the Masters movement has gotten so big, and it's grown exponentially in the last, say, 5-6 years. They've had to split up the tournaments because there's no venue anywhere that can accommodate all these teams, 35 through 80, men's and women's from the, you know, countries. And we've got 23 countries here, and oftentimes there's more.
That's fantastic. It's fantastic. And in Australia, where exactly in Australia was it on?
It was in, is it It was, what's
Canberra?
yeah, it was in
Canberra?
Canberra, yeah.
Okay,
And,
Canberra.
which was, you know, a little disappointing. We'd love to have been near something with a
In a
lot
m-
more
in a ma-
cultural.
yeah, in a
Yeah,
major
it was
city.
like, okay, we can only, there was like 2 museums. Okay, we've seen
Yeah.
that. But no, and that was a great venue because
Well-
they had a lot of great turf
Turf,
facilities.
yeah. With all due respect, I've been to Canberra and spent all of one night there and said,
That was
that's,
it.
that's sufficient. I'm,
Yes, we can appreciate that
yeah,
sentiment.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, I know. That's
Yeah.
why the Cape Town's been so wonderful too.
Yeah.
There's so many, so
I'll
many
just-
things
I'll
to
just-
see and
yeah, yeah.
do.
Yeah, went in for the game, and that was the end of the game. Said, thanks very much, Canberra. We'll move on to Sydney and Melbourne. Thank you.
Yeah,
very
no,
much.
we'd love to have been Sydney.
Yeah.
Just seeing that opera house alone, and
Yeah.
the restaurants and all that sort of thing. And that's been great here. The food, your restaurants are. I'm a New Yorker. It's hard to beat New York. Your restaurants are phenomenal, and the seafood. Oh my goodness.
I heard you had a good trip out to the Bayer restaurant on the V&A waterfront.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It was fabulous. And of course, the dollar has been so strong around the world.
Yeah.
We are just incredulous, what it costs us, how little it costs us. So sorry to hate to rub that in to the South Africans.
So drinks is on you tonight, Bob.
Oh,
Yeah, lovely.
exactly. No,
lovely.
fabulous food. We've just been,
No, that's awesome. That is one of the attractions, the great attractions of coming down to Cape Town for any foreigner. The value for money, really good.
It's really even,
And,
just
good
taking an
food,
Uber because,
yeah.
we get buses in the field, but
Yeah.
1 or 2 times our bus wasn't there, particularly for our game yesterday. We're like,
Really?
we was like, what happened to our bus? So
Oh no!
we just, at this point, we're well practiced in Uber. So,
Yeah.
4 of us whipped out our phones, called
Yeah.
the Uber, and loaded
then-
our
then-
goalkeeper in, who really was freaking out. I need to warm up. And
So the entire
her
team
in.
came in Uber.
yes, we all came by Ubers yesterday.
All right.
So-
I'm not sure the organisers would love to hear that on air, but as they say in South Africa, we make a plan.
Yeah,
That is
exactly.
the motto of South Africa. We always when in Africa you make a plan. So
Yeah. Exactly. And it was no problem. We just, we got here. It was fine.
oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, no, it is quite convenient. The e-hailing options that we do have down here. So
Yeah. And your Ubers are great. They come in a
Yeah.
few minutes and right on time and
that's wonderful.
take us right to the right spot. So it was great.
Yeah, so down in Canberra and in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, hopefully. Not that in
No,
Herenveen or
unfortunately,
anything
it was
like
The Hague. It was
The
The
Hague,
Hague.
okay,
And we were
yeah.
outside The Hague,
that. All right.
So, but was fun that time. We also had the actual World Cup, with all the national teams,
Yes,
and
yes,
that
yes.
was right next door. So
Oh,
we were
that was
able to go
fantastic.
watch,
Yeah,
our team, the Dutch, and of course, as you know, the Dutch just love
Yeah.
their field hockey. And to be in this major stadium, of course, all these chanting Dutch. but it
Orange,
was
orange shirts,
yeah,
the Oranje
orange
Army.
shorts.
Oranje
Oh my
Army.
God, you're not kidding. But
Yeah.
it was fabulous.
Yeah, that's definitely an experience.
And Barcelona was outside Barcelona, but it was so, you just go into Barcelona every day. And of course, what a fascinating city that is.
We couldn't turn on the better weather for you down here in Cape Town. It's been a bit of a mixed bag. But,
Well, but no rain, a little bit of drizzle here and there.
Yeah.
So the weather's been actually pretty good. The temperature's been perfect for field hockey, and these microclimates have been interesting. So that it can be
Yeah.
windy here and then beautiful a mile away.
Yeah. No, that is true. That is so it's Cape Town it's very flat. And
Yeah.
that does create
No, but
the-
I'll tell you with
yeah.
the temperature, given Barcelona in the summer in July,
Yeah.
95, the humidity, that was
What's
tough.
that? About 30 degrees, 35
Oh,
degrees
right.
Celsius?
Yeah. It's right. We're Fahrenheit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
so
just
that's about
say
there,
extremely
yeah.
hot.
No, true.
Oh,
I think we were talking more about the weather for the sightseeing over here. That's what
Oh,
we were
yeah.
interested in.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
exactly.
Don't let
But
the
it was-
hockey interfere with a good sightseeing.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it's a real pleasure to be down here. It's my first experience with World Masters hockey,
Yeah.
and it's been a real eye-opener. So plenty of inspiration. I actually called my mum the first day and said, I think you need to get out your pads for South Africa. You need to come be in the goals.
Oh. Well, what's interesting? I'll tell you, and this team seems pretty healthy and fine, but I know our over 50 team had 5 players with serious hamstring and groin injuries, and and one even a calf pull, and you're like, what
Oh,
is
no.
what is going on? And we didn't have that many injuries, and we laughed, say, well, we don't run fast enough to pull muscles.
That's a great joke. That is a fantastic joke. Wonderful, wonderful.
Oh gosh.
No, I would definitely, if I had to pull a hamstring, I'd be asking myself, why am I out here? But
I know, and we have so few subs.
Yeah.
They're out there playing, hobbling around, but you just do it.
I think
Do
that's
it for the team.
that's what's been inspirational. The fact that at this age you're still wanting to compete, you're wanting to come out, and even when I see the teams warm up and going through their drills, it's just so professional. It's wanting to give the absolute best.
Yeah, and it's all relative. I mean, you preside over your own decline as you age, and you just have different coping strategies. In your 40s, you go, gosh, I actually have to condition and stretch.
Yeah.
50s, you just really adapt. And these days, you just start taking that Advil about 4 days before the tournament, let it build up.
That is fantastic commentary here, bringing to live at the World Masters Hockey World Cup. It's still England who went into the halftime break at 5-0, and they are still very much in control and just utilizing their game management skills to take them home and lift that trophy in a few moments. And we are very sure that you will see this England bench erupt when the hooter does go. But I need to take my hat off to the Scots, though. They've haven't given up. Haven't just rolled over.
They have not, and they really have kept. This is a scoreless. This is a tie. Second half so far, 0-0.
See the Dutch warming up there in the background, and they're getting ready for their final. And just the way they go about it, it's just a pleasure to watch. Just to see.
And it's interesting because we brought our own physical therapist along, and it's somebody who has not done field hockey before, and it was a last-minute sub, and he's been really struck by the nature of the injuries. They're all variations on the theme. It's a quad, it's a hamstring, it's a groin. And so there's and you're looking at the Netherlands team warming up. They're doing very hockey-specific stretches, just to prevent those kinds of injuries.
I've seen also another aspect of this tournament is that quite a few teams have hired up local physios and trainers, and it's been a real boost for quite a them are students at Stellenbosch University and the UCT.
So they didn't bring their own, but they hired them here, which is so smart. You have to, because the injuries, you're trying to prevent them, but they are going to happen, and then what do you do? And the teams, you have a set roster, and a lot of times you've got to play through the injuries.
Yeah. It's just been brilliant for for these young physios and trainers to be involved with international teams and competition, and so it's not only the economy that gets a boost, but also the the students getting these opportunities at major tournaments, and which sets them up for future job opportunities.
That is an excellent point, because it does give you this experience when you can say, hey, I've done this international players.
Yeah, and definitely be asking different questions at this level, and so good experience. It's a bit like when we hear about the doctors from Europe coming down to spend a few days at Grooteskier, the hospital, the major hospital in Cape Town, and the experience you're getting in a Cape Town hospital you can't buy anywhere in the world.
Oh, I bet. That's the hospital where the first heart transplant was done.
That is exactly where the first heart transplant was. Dr. Christian Barnard, quite a maverick himself.
Yes, I've read about that character. But I remember when that happened and put Cape Town on the map. That's the first thing I knew about Cape Town.
Okay,
was this innovative and medical daring surgery. It was really quite something.
That's a wonderful thing to know. That that was the first thing you heard about Cape Town.
Well, who really remembers on that regard, but it certainly made me think of Cape Town as a real, international city that's capable of such a great scientific achievement.
Have you felt Cape Town to be quite cosmopolitan since you've been here?
Yes, I certainly have. And I'll tell you, it does. We talked about the food earlier, and good save by the goalkeeper. But, the food, that tells you something, about it, because when you can attract that kind of the chefs and the clientele that want that, that's a pretty sophisticated thing. So, yes, I have found it to be so.
That's really That's really good as we go just on 2 minutes remaining in this final between England and Scotland. And it is Sue Mary that will lift the trophy earlier. She's got 2 goals already, Sue Mary, in today's game. And my vote for player of the tournament in the over 60s, I think she's been excellent today. She's run her socks off.
Yeah, she sure has. And again, she's clearly the team has voted her most valuable player, to begin with by making her captain. So it's very rewarding. I think I see off the field a trophy and table being dragged to the entrance, getting ready. Oh, my. Oh, no goal.
That would have been a nice finish for Scotland, just to get a consolation. But they will have a free hit on the 16 as they push this one last minute of the tournament down here in the Mother City.
Scotland has to know they've got to get this in there. They have 1 minute to go to get that. Unfortunate. Went behind the player who was cutting in, hoping to deflect it in.
I think that could be all she wrote for Scotland.
Yeah, I think so. 33 seconds, and we know that the English know what to do with 33 seconds left when they've got the ball.
That was rather surprising to play it that quickly, but
yeah,
they've given Scotland one last chance.
Yeah, this is when, you trot slowly after the ball, take your time, get it teed up just perfectly.
And that is the final whistle. It gets the England onto the park as they are victorious by 5 goals to nothing here, taking the over 60 championship over Scotland. We'll see you back in a short bit for the presentation of the medals. Oh, no, let's have a go.
That waiting for the gun, the nerves are just too much, thinking about what is about to go down.
There goes the horn to start the race.
No, I think it's really amazing. And now the whole setup and people are dressed up.
We're giving something, I think, to the people that's just fantastic.
The support on the side of the road is second to none, and that gives you the extra oomph.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. The scenery is beyond what I could imagine. I seriously enjoyed it. I met so many wonderful people on the way.
Really enjoying Cape Town. People seem to really appreciate artwork here, which is really nice.
Come and visit Cape Town. We are waiting for you with open arms. We welcome you here. This will remain a city of hope and opportunity for everyone, not just in Cape Town, but around the country and the world.
And he takes the tape.
Cape Town is open, safe and ready to host you.